Welcome to the Pretty and Punk podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell.
And I'm Ildiko Ferenzi, and welcome to the very first ever episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast, a business podcast for entrepreneurs with kids or thinking about having kids.
We're really excited to bring you this podcast. We wanted to do this first episode really explaining why both of us decided to start this podcast, because we almost started it like 5 years ago in 2015. Right. And we were just starting a business, and we thought, let's start a podcast that's kind of based around, so it explains the steps through our business.
And power couples.
Yeah, how a power couple starts a business, and maybe bring on world-class entrepreneurs and have them tell their stories on how they started their business. And then we had a kid.
Bam! All of a sudden we had a baby.
And our lives changed. So we...
In a good way. Because listen, for years I believed I couldn't have babies. And that was a heartache. That was really hard for me as a woman to wrap my head and my life around that. I always planned that I would have kids. And to deal with that heartache, I built businesses. I took on everything that came my way that interested me. I think the thing that kind of healed me and got my mind off that heartache was exactly that. Pursuing my passions, building businesses. And then I met this other entrepreneur that had the exact same vision that I did.
And good looking.
I'll give you that. So here we are, two entrepreneurs pursuing our passions, building businesses, traveling the world, and bam, I get pregnant, which, let me tell you, was the best moment of my life. And I proved myself wrong, because with the first breath of my firstborn son, my best life, I can honestly say my best life started at that moment. And I had a total recall moment where here I was telling myself for years that I couldn't do this with kids. And now here I am. I'm going to have to. And I had the total recall moment because my mom, as a single mom, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, I grew up in her businesses. So this wasn't actually that far off. And I had planned during my pregnancy to have nannies and all this stuff, but we
kind of argued about that. Growing up with a stay-at-home mom, so I wasn't used to that type of thing. I was used to my mom being there, and I wanted my kids to have that. And so we kind of weren't seeing eye to eye on that.
Because I still wanted to pursue my dreams and build businesses. I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just was in a different mindset. So when they laid my son in my arms, I said, I'm going to figure out a way to do this with my son. And, I'm at a point in my life where I wasn't running the architectural concrete company anymore. And even with that, I see parents bringing their kids on site. Like there's all these different entrepreneurial couples with kids, and everybody's living them different, and not everybody includes their kids.
And you don't have to.
You don't have to. There's no right or wrong.
Everybody can do it their own way.
But all of a sudden, and I was gonna leave my kids at home with a nanny and whatever else. But all of a sudden, I had that total recall moment where my mom, she gave me the decision if I wanted to be with sitters or go to preschool, and I chose to be by my mom's side because I was so engaged and loved being in that environment.
Well, she had a jewelry shop at the time. And you being in there, you probably wanted to be by your mom, but it's probably kind of exciting.
I loved being around adults more than kids. But this isn't all kids, But I wanted my son to be able to decide. So I didn't want to be away. I didn't want anyone else looking after my child. So at that point, I made his mind up for me. He's going to come to my shoots. He's going to come to the red carpets. And if someone doesn't want to book me because I have a kid, then I guess they don't book me.
But not everybody can bring their kid with them either.
No.
So there's other ways of doing that.
That's right.
And I mean, I think that when we also were starting a business together at the same time, so an online business. So it kind of gave us this opportunity to like slowly educate him because he was starting to get older. He's 4 now. And we wanted to kind of involve him in that business a little bit as much as we could.
And just be hands-on. This is just, when you have kids, you realize that it just flies by. And I didn't realize how quickly it would fly by. So everybody told me I'm at that age where other entrepreneurs are having kids and they're like, this is precious. Take every moment in. And at that point I said, I am going to take every moment in. I'm going to be the hands-on mom. I'm going to be a little bit different because I'm still going to do business and my passions,